Now, remember Tamiflu? You might even have stockpiled some, because at the height of the swine flu crisis 2 years ago, this flu drug was being prescribed to millions around the world, hailed as a panacea for an emerging pandemic. The drug company Roche held the rights to it and made billions from its sales as governments around the world queued up to get their hands on it. But doubts emerged about its effectiveness, and public health experts called on the company to release all of its clinical data. 3 years on, they say they're still waiting, as our science editor Tom Clark now reports.
It's become a global pandemic.
Swine flu has, for the first time, killed someone in Britain.
The virus is
Spring
spreading.
2009, and fears of a pandemic spread via the media faster than the virus itself. Nothing could stop it, but one medicine, Tamiflu, which had promised to shorten the length of illness and prevent deaths, was stockpiled worldwide. But was the drug everyone wanted actually effective in a pandemic? 3 years on, one group of public health experts say we still can't be certain because the company that makes it won't give them all the data. By the time the swine flu pandemic was in full swing, the Department of Health had spent £500 million of taxpayers' money on anti-flu medicines, of which Tamiflu was one. But even then, questions were being asked about the effectiveness of Tamiflu at preventing a pandemic. And what today's report claims is that 3 years on, we're none the wiser, because it says the independent scientists looking for the real data on Tamiflu have been stonewalled by the drug's manufacturer. It's an important concern, particularly given Roche promised to make full Tamiflu study reports available to independent scientists following a Channel 4 News investigation in 2009. In the correspondence published today, the researchers assert Roche still hasn't released everything they requested.
Unfortunately, we are unable to send you the data requested, as a similar meta-analysis is currently commencing. You have all the detail you need to undertake a review, and so we have decided not to supply any more detailed information.
It's up to us to say what information we do require to answer our study questions, and in any case, they probably provided less than 5% of the 10 trials we asked for information, less than 5% of what is available.
Roche reject the criticisms. They say independent regulators still support Tamiflu's effectiveness, adding,
almost 80% of Roche's Tamiflu clinical data has been published as primary publications or made available to the scientific community on the web. However, for confidentiality reasons, we believe it would not be appropriate to make raw patient data publicly available.
But the experience of trying to get information from one drug company about its product points to a wider problem of openness. In response to today's report, the European drug regulator has announced it will now work to improve public access to data for drugs which the public end up paying for.
Tom Clark there. The Florida Neighborhood Watch volunteer who shot the unarmed black teenager Trayvon Martin has disappeared. George Zimmerman's lawyers have stood themselves down, saying they can't represent someone they can't